So the Irish president, the man who, let's be clear, wanted his government to change the definition of genocide, even though it's worked perfectly well to accuse and find guilty countries who have actually committed genocide of being guilty. But he decides he wants the International Court of Justice to change the definition of genocide in order to find Israel guilty. In my view, he himself is complicit in genocide because in doing that, he is trying to undermine Israel's ability to fight the real genociders, Hamas. But here he grotesquely, today on Holocaust Memorial Day, grotesquely weaponizes the Holocaust. The anti-Semitism that Jews faced, that climaxed with 6 million Jewish people being wiped off the face of the earth, 2/3 of Europe's Jews wiped out. And he uses his platform at a Holocaust Memorial Day event in order to try and accuse Israel of being a modern-day Nazi state. This is so evil, so sick, so perverse. I'm surprised he genuinely had the audacity to do this. I mean, it's one thing to, as president of a Western nation, to make all these accusations, but at a Holocaust Memorial Day event. Here's a little clip from his speech.
It is to be hoped, I believe, that those in Israel who mourn their loved ones, those who have been waiting for the release of hostages, or the thousands searching for relatives in the rubble in Gaza, will welcome the long overdue ceasefire for which there has been such a heavy price paid. The grief inflicted on families by the horrific acts of October 7th, and the response to it is unimaginable. The loss of civilian life, the majority of women and children, their displacement, loss of homes and necessary institutions for life itself. How can the world, and I often ask, continue to look at the empty bowls of the starving? The current agreement must end the killing.
This is so sick, so sick. First of all, it's de-Judaizing the Holocaust. This is about Holocaust Memorial Day. It's about having memory to the fact that we saw on an industrial governmental scale the attempt at a genocide, at wiping out all the Jews of Europe and then the world. And no such genocide on such an industrial scale has ever been seen before or since in human history. And here he decides to talk about civilian casualties that existed. Why? As a result of Israel fighting against genociders with more precision, military precision, than has ever been seen in the history of modern urban warfare. And here he starts lamenting that. It would be no different to lamenting all the German civilians who died in World War II. Why don't we just make Holocaust Memorial Day about anything and everything then? Any suffering. It's utterly inappropriate. And more than that, it's trying to shame Israel for protecting herself from modern-day Nazis.
But as a matter of urgency, deliver the massive scale-up in humanitarian need, which is urgently needed to save more lives.
This is so wrong.
It is important that all remaining hostages are released and that all phases of the agreement are fully implemented. It is to be hoped that the agreement will not only bring an end to the horrific loss of life.
You can hear someone heckling, by the way, and I'll tell you who that is in a sec.
Destruction which has taken place, but that it will also mark the beginning of the meaningful discussions, the sustained diplomatic initiatives which have been missing from the international community with tragic consequences.
Shameful.
And that it will commence a meaningful peace and security to Israel, Palestine and the greater region, a peace that will address the root causes of the conflict as well as its aftermath and be premised on the upholding.
He's part of the root causes of the conflict. It's the age-old hatred and persecution of the Jews, not allowing them to live and not allowing them to be equals, and not acknowledging anti-Semitism when it's really there, which is the root cause of the Israel-Arab conflict.
Of human rights. When wars and conflicts become accepted or presented as seemingly unending, humanity is the loser. War is not the natural condition of humanity. Cooperation is. We must recover and assert that principle at every level, nationally, regionally, internationally. We must never lack the courage to challenge hatred and persecution in whatever forms they sought to be manifested, by promoting a world that is free from persecutions based on difference, such as faith or ethnicity, by embracing diversity, by working for equality, peace.
It's disgusting. He's trying to lecture them in the hall about equality, peace. Who taught the world those things? Peace is an ideal, justice for all. That was brought to the world by the Jewish people. How dare he lecture us when we've been doing all we can throughout history, and certainly through it since Israel's founding, re-establishment, to have peace. If he wants to be lecturing people, he should be lecturing the other side. But on the day in which we memorialise 6 million martyrs of our people, who the world targeted, and Ireland, let's not forget, by the way, was neutral, was not involved in the war to save the world and Europe from Nazism. To be lectured by him, the audacity, the gall is just absolutely shocking. There was a protester that was removed from the venue, from the event. Someone dragged out, as you can see here.
My ceremony. My ceremony. You're not yours. It's mine. No.
I got your face. I got your name. Just somewhat.
No.
Somewhat.
This is not people, right?
I heard her say that she was pregnant. I mean, it's so sick. It's so sick. At our very own event, he uses the event, as Amichai Chikli said, I was stunned by the decision of Ireland's President Michael Higgins to use the event of International Holocaust Remembrance Day as an opportunity to spit in the faces of Holocaust survivors and trample on the memory of 6 million innocent murdered people by Nazi Germany. Like a professional anti-Semite, Higgins makes his blatant hatred for the Jewish people with fabricated tales about genocide in Gaza. In doing so, he not only dishonoured the memory of the Holocaust, but also grievously insulted nations that have experienced genocide. Indeed, other real genocide. Let's understand, when people talk about 55% of the homes demolished in Gaza, the homes are, not the people. The people have moved to safe areas. 55% of the homes are destroyed. You know why? Because Hamas were in 55% of the homes, using them as human building shields. About 40,000 have been killed in this war. It seems about half were Hamas. That's a level of precision even Western nations should be in awe of. And there could never be a more just war than fighting against an enemy who wills your destruction of your entire people, who really wants genocide, who came in on October 7th, committed a mini-genocide, killing man, woman and child, and has hundreds of them hostage in their territory. President Higgins, in my mind, has utterly revealed himself for who he is. And to be honest, it's almost comical. I think this man is embarrassing himself. He's embarrassing himself with his blatant, utterly clear prejudice against the Jewish people. And I think more and more people are going to realise this. Far from him bringing people with him, we should have confidence in the sanity of human beings and realise that what he's done here is utterly sick. Thank you so much for watching. To watch another one, click here. To stay up to date with all our content, click here to subscribe. And if you're able to, you can help support JTV to grow and grow by clicking join below this video, where you can become a member and get perks including early access to videos and private live discussions with me. But most of all, you'll be partnering with us on our mission to change the world.